We're live. Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And we're so happy to be hanging out here with you guys today. Hump Day.
Yep.
It's Hump Day.
That's why we want to bring you some movie news to improve your Hump Day.
I want to take a minute to thank everybody who have consistently shown up to most, if not all, of our stream. Thank you so much. I don't know what I was trying to do. I wanted
You were trying to do like the...
I know, but then I did this. Like, what is this?
Like, this doesn't work.
What are hands, fingers? What do they do?
There we go. Oh, I guess we could also do... Oh,
or this.
What?
Saranghe.
Oh,
it's a heart.
There we go. It's an
Let's
awkward...
kill this love.
Little
hearts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to thank you guys for always coming in and hanging out with us on our Wednesday streams and our Saturday streams and putting up with our crazy antics of like Mad Libs and stuff like that. And we have special guests coming on for this Saturday stream. So make sure you tune in. We're still going to go from 2 to 3 unless something happens, which we'll let you know. But that's going to have our first guest. Woo!
Woo-hoo,
because
yeah!
I finally figured out how to do it. We did a little test
Once you
today.
figure out the technology, you're like,
yes.
Good to go.
Yay! So we hope you guys are doing well. If you want to see what we're up to day to day, I think oftentimes we post stories to our Instagram. So you can find us on Instagram at The Movie Couple, no underscore. And me, that's just my name right there, on Twitter and Instagram. And then The Movie Couple on Instagram is The Movie Couple underscore. So I know it's weird, but I'm sure if you just put in The Movie Couple, the option's there for us to pop up. So hope you guys are doing well. Let's see. We're going to keep under wraps who the guest will be for Saturday. Unless one of us blab it sometime during the live stream.
Which is very possible.
Yeah.
I have a terrible tendency of just being like, hey, and also we got this. Like, oh, I shouldn't have told you that.
You're like, well, oh well. So, and as you can see, Dustin has a brand new haircut, which I think you guys already saw by Saturday. It's already getting,
it took
it's
a
already
while.
getting a little long. We already have to go back to the...
My hair actually does grow very, very fast.
Yeah.
So either I'm going to start just trimming it normally, because then, I don't have to pay for a haircut, and that's going to be a lot of money that we can save.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of fun to like grow everything out and then go all the way through and just do kind of like what we did on the vlog video that we just posted yesterday.
And speaking of vlogs, we have the Dustin...
You got hair in my mouth.
Dustin edited and put up the haircutting vlog. That's vlog 122. Can you believe we have 122 vlogs?
Really?
Yeah, from the beginning of time, from when we were called Our Zany Life up until we switched to The Movie Couple to now, which is like really crazy. If you go back to our very first vlog, we were just so awkward and weird, and we were eating all these weird things we got from World Market.
I remember those. Yeah, what was it? We also had like one of those. It was like
weird
a cock soda.
Yeah, it was called Cock and Bull.
Cock and Bull.
That's the brand of the
it was
soda.
Disgusting. I remember it being so bad.
I have to go back and rewatch it. Maybe we could do like a reaction of our earliest videos. But I don't know. That's kind of cringy. I don't know if I want to go back and watch myself and be like, God, what an idiot.
And that was back when we were living in that little 1-bedroom, 1-bath, cockroach-infested apartment.
Oh, man. We could talk about that terrible apartment in North Hollywood. It was awful. You guys always read your lease agreements, all the fine prints, and if it's more than like 3 pages long, don't sign it. They're hiding something. Don't sign it. From us to you, that's our life advice.
Yeah, I spent over a year trying to get my security deposit back. I took them to small claims court. I finally won. They decided to stiff me.
So
I had to take them to small claims court again. I got the judge. It
was a lot of heartache, and that was like within our first year of being married. We were kind of stuck in this awful situation. Couldn't even like kind of like live that like happily ever after life, right after we got married. It was just like the wedding was fun and the mini honeymoon was fun, and then it was just like stress. So
fortunately at the time I was actually not working very much, so I was kind of like, okay, fine, I can do all of this stuff. So, but that is a story for a later time.
Yeah, if you guys want to know, we will do maybe like an Instagram live where we just talk about that. So it's you know, something more super casual, like an AMA or something like that. But we do have another vlog, and that is our Tokyo Disneyland vlog that finally went up. You guys, we shot that back in 2018.
Almost 2 years ago, about a year and a half, right?
Because we went in October, November.
So yeah,
and,
year and a half.
Yep. And it's just, it's taking us a long time to go through the footage. It's because I got really busy with work and life. And now, I don't want to say I'm less busy. I would say we're still really busy.
Well, okay. It's one of those things that, you know, when you are, when you have a job and you're trying to do other things, you're like, oh, I really wish I just had an extra hour in my day, kind of a thing. But now that we don't have work, we're still like, man, I wish we had.
Why is there only 24 hours in a day? Why can't there be 30 hours in a day?
I want an extra hour that nobody else has.
Yeah.
And Wendy, I have to admit, is just going gangbusters with everything she does.
Oh, thank you.
She works so hard on all of the stuff you guys get to see. I mean, there's some stuff that I have now been able to take on and edit. And I have to admit, I edited that blog, but Wendy still had, I put it up and Wendy still had to go through it, have to put in all the tags, put in all the interesting stuff to make it actually look cool.
Make the thumbnail.
Thumbnails, because I don't know how to do that stuff. So
I'll teach you.
Wendy still has her thumbprint on everything that goes up. She is amazing.
It's a team effort.
Go team, go.
Because it's the movie couple.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get mad. I remember I used to get so mad if I were to appear in a movie couple on the movie couple channel by myself talking about a movie because you.
Well, especially when you went to Comic-Con by yourself or you went to TIFF by yourself. I didn't get the invite to go.
And people will be like, well, it's not called the movie single. It's called the movie couple. And I'm like, guys, we're not attached at the hip. Like Dustin can be in a vlog by himself, cutting his own hair and narrating through the whole thing. And I can talk about a movie by myself. But I mean, for the most part, obviously, we try to do things together. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. But anyways, hope you guys check out those vlogs. They are on our channel. There are more vlogs coming. And you guys, more vlogs doesn't mean no movie reviews or no movie reactions. We are going to continue to put them out. We plan to do a lot of taping today, a lot of editing. Why is his hair like...
It's just like, I want to be in the shot. I want to be in the shot.
So know that there are more coming. There's actually a really fun, weird, like niche kind of a trailer reaction we're going to put up on our Patreon. I don't know how it's going to go out, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, I think that's hilarious. So we're going to do that. Somebody said in the chat that says, just go through the chat real quick to see what you guys are saying. Is the guest Ashley Eckstein? I wish. It was Ashley Eckstein. I could certainly try, but I don't know if her like PR team would be like, sure, go on this like little tiny YouTube channel and, you know. But
well, you've actually gotten to interview her a little bit. We actually have, because when we were at Dapper Day, that one time at Disneyland.
Yeah, Ashley Eckstein was actually, she's in the thumbnail of the very first episode of Disney Bounding with Wendy, when she like debuted her Haunted Mansion tightrope walker dress. Such a cool dress for the dress shop at Disney. And I was like, hey, are you okay to go on camera? She's like, yeah, girl. So Ashley is one of the most genuine, nicest, most caring person I have ever met. She's always remain positive no matter what life hands her, and that's difficult. I know it's difficult because I've tried to do that before, but I am a much more cynical person than Ashley Eckstein is. Like, if Ashley Eckstein is the definition of an angel, then I am the definition of like a devil. Because I don't have like half the patience she has with things. I don't have like the positive outlook, and that's what makes her her.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll never see her in a bad mood, and I think that's just like, it's endearing to see someone be able to kind of look at life like that, because I can't, and I think that's why she's Ahsoka, and that's why she's awesome at what she does. So the yes, it is not going to be Ashley Eckstein, but even though I wish, I mean, I could try, I could reach out, but it's I just don't feel like we have the pull for Ashley Eckstein. But stay tuned for that. And okay, shall we go into our topics?
Yeah, first topic of the day.
Oh, wait. No, we can't. Just kidding. We got to talk about what we're watching.
Oh, yeah.
What we're watching. Lately, I've been obsessed. And when I say obsessed, I mean I stay up until 3 a.m. to watch this on Netflix. And that's a K-drama, Korean drama called Itaewon Class. And it's overall, short story is that it's a story about revenge. Yeah. It's about a boy who encountered a very well-known CEO of a CEO company in the food industry that basically has a lot of power and a lot of influence. And a lot of bad things happen between this boy, Park Sero-yi, and the family. And there's this whole, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. And if you're not into K-drama, this is the one to get into, because I can't tell you how many times where I've watched something unfold and I was like, how did I not see this before?
I'll be in the next room on my computer and I'll just hear, oh my God, oh my God, oh. And then just the reaction of watching something unfold is very obvious when and she's just loving it.
Yeah, so. I love it so much. I think maybe 6 more episodes left. So I'm kind of like sad that I don't want it to come to an end. But once that comes to an end, I have another K-drama lined up anyway, so I guess I can watch that. But that's something we've been watching, or I've been watching. I make him watch. I'm like, watch this moment. Just watch this scene. But then I have to kind of go and tell you all about the scene.
Yeah.
So.
And plus, I have a really hard time with reading, so getting subtitles has always been tough for me. Fortunately, I have a great reader and someone who's willing to put up with all of that.
I characterize it too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Don't you know that I love my boss? It's bad acting. Bad acting just now. Okay, so something else we've been watching is based on Debbie's and many of you guys' recommendation. We actually started watching She-Ra. We just started season 3, and wow,
I love it.
Not what I expected at all. It's real good.
I just love how the story has been unfolding. There's some episodes that I'm like, wow, they really got into some of the deep character developments, and it was a little scary, I have to admit. And I'm like, wow, this is really for kids kind of thing. And it really does have that Avatar: The Last Airbender kind of vibe, and a little bit of Dragon Prince, and I love the fantasy behind it. The mixture of magic and technology is really cool. And I think it's just a great series. And it's one of those things that you're like, I don't,
because it looks so like cutesy and kitty.
Yeah,
but it's actually not. And they get kind of like into a darker topic pretty soon too. So it's not kind of like Airbender, where like the first season is definitely younger. Yeah. And then as they grow, like book 2, book 3, you're like, oh. Okay.
Ooh, yeah. Which is, Last Airbender gets really intense. Yeah. In some spots.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. And we love that show. It's on Netflix now if you want to check it out. And we meet Airbender and She-Ra. We're also watching.
Wait, Airbender's on Netflix now?
Remember,
or is
we talked about.
I thought it was coming to Netflix. Or is it now? Oh, okay.
So
it's one of those things.
If it's not there now, it's there soon.
I hope so, because I'm probably going to go back and start binging a little bit of Airbender.
Yes. And hello to our friend Adam, who is in the chat here, and he says, if you guys love She-Ra, definitely recommend Voltron. If you haven't already seen it, we love Voltron. I'm the leg. I'm the leg.
And Dark Crystal, Rise, the Age of Resistance.
Rise of Resistance.
Wrong one, but Age of Resistance. I can't wait for season 2. Yeah. I love that, and I'm dying to see season 2. I kind of, after seeing the first season of Dark Crystal, I kind of wanted to be like, I just want to watch it again. Yeah,
it's so good. And then one of the last things before we jump into our main topic is we're also continuously watching Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian. Season 2 came out last Friday, which we talked about a little bit on Saturday. Legacy, and it's fantastic. Really, really love it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our main topics today. One of the topics we're talking about is Hollywood Bowl canceled its summer season.
This is intense.
And this is the first time they canceled a summer season in 98 years.
That's almost 100 years.
I didn't realize
that they have been doing this nonstop.
Yeah.
And it's insane that how many companies are starting to do this, or how many big shows, how many big concerts and organizations have been doing their thing for many, many, many years. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's now, we're not doing this. Disneyland closed for the first time in 50 and some odd years. Yeah. And it hits you. It kind of hits you. I'm kind of like, even though I've been to the Hollywood Bowl, I love all the programming that they do, but to be like, they're closing down an entire season.
Which I understand, because even though like a Hollywood Bowl is an outside venue, so not everybody's breathing the same circulated air. It is rather hard to social distance, especially when you are entering. Like on a normal day, you bottleneck in there, and it's like Comic-Con where you're walking like this next to the other person. So even if you require masks, it just I understand they want to keep their staff safe, and I think they want to try to keep
safe.
Everybody else safe. So it does suck, but I think it makes sense. I'll miss it. I've been in LA for about 10 years, and I actually went to the Hollywood Bowl for the very first time. I think it was last year.
Oh yeah, you saw the
Little Mermaid live, and Lea Michele was there to sing. John Stamos sang as the chef. It was so much fun, and I went with Kim Horcher. I went with my friend Camille, and I went with my friend. Oh no, there was 4 of us. Who was the 4th person? I think it was Camille's friend. No,
probably.
Gosh, I can't remember.
But I mean,
I'm sorry.
I remember seeing video of the guy who did the chef.
John Stamos.
Thank you.
Uncle Jesse. Have mercy.
You can tell he goes out there, and even though he does just that one song, he has so much fun that he just goes out there and he's like, I'm loving it. Oh yeah, we're going to cook up some crabs. And he just takes that terrible French accent and just runs with it. He's just loving every second of it. And anytime you get to see a performer get to do those moments, whether it's Queen Latifah when she was Ursula, you can tell she's just having so much fun.
Crushed it.
Or even in that terrible movie, Nutcracker. You have Keira Knightley playing the Sugar Plum Fairy. You could tell she's just having a blast.
Yeah.
And it could bring so much joy just watching them have fun.
Yep.
That makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a definitely experience because the weather was cold, so we layered up. We tried to do a little bit of like Disney bound, like I did a Prince Eric Disney bound with just a white button-up tee. I borrowed one of Dustin's like sashes as a belt, and I wore dark jeans.
You looked really cute.
I felt pretty good, and it was comfortable. That's what I really wanted to be comfortable. But then it did rain, and they don't allow umbrellas.
Oh yeah, that's
right. They don't, because people sitting behind you. So we had like little just. It was still fun though. Like I got to hang out with my friends. I drank hot chocolate. It was so much fun. But I will be sad for the Hollywood Bowl season to close. And hopefully they can bring it back for Christmas or early next year, and they can reschedule the programming so everybody can still go. And if you ever go back to the Hollywood Bowl, bring your own. I think it tells you in the event details whether you're allowed to bring your own food or not. For the Little Mermaid concert, we weren't allowed to bring our own food.
Oh, really? I thought you were always kind of like allowed to bring your own food.
Apparently not. Apparently not. You have to read the ticket.
Oh.
Because that's what we thought was going to happen too.
I remember when I went to go see John Williams.
Yeah. Oh, you got to see
it. Was many years ago. But not only did people bring their own food, they all brought their own weed too.
Oh no!
And it was funny.
Look,
there was just this kind of cloud over the whole group.
It happens. That kind of happened.
The groups that go there are really cool too.
Yeah, but it's open too, so it's not like But not that we recommend that. But we do recommend, if you can't bring your own food and wine, do that, because otherwise you're going to be paying like $5 a tiny glass. And the food ordering experience took forever. It'd wait forever. They were trying to do this like mobile order thing, and it like didn't work. But regardless of that, I had a great time. I was with my friends, and it was so much fun. And even though we've lived in LA for forever, you were born and raised here in California.
Yep.
I can't believe it. Like I had only gone to Hollywood Bowl for the very first time last year.
Honestly, even being a native, there's a lot of things that I actually haven't done. I actually have not gone up to the Hollywood sign.
Me neither.
I've seen it. I have not.
You've seen it though, right?
I've seen it though. Yeah, I've driven by it.
Yeah.
And I also never been to Pink's, like the real Pink's that's down
on Sunset.
On Sunset.
Is it Sunset or Melrose? Hold on.
I'm not 100% sure. But,
You've never been to Pink's?
I've had Pink's hot dogs. One was at the fair. I had one at Universal Studios. True, it's not the
It's
same
not the
thing.
same. We gotta wait in
But
the
I've
line.
had, I think I've had them other places.
It's
But
on La Brea.
La Brea. That's
La Brea
right.
and
I've
Santa
driven
Monica,
by it
I think.
100 times.
Oh, that was one of the first things my friends took me to do when I first moved to LA. They were like, can you guys also see, you guys probably just noticed how close I had my phone to my face. It's because I don't have glasses on, and that's how bad my eyesight is. Yeah, it's on Melrose and La Brea. I was way off saying Sunset. I don't know why I thought Sunset, because everything's on Sunset. Oh man.
Sunset Boulevard.
Some people say it's overrated. I think at this point you're going for more like the experience.
Nostalgia.
Pink, not as well, yeah.
Kind of the nostalgia of a Hollywood.
Iconic hot dog stand, and like the hot dogs pretty good. They're big too.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty big, and the line's super fast. It may look long, but it's super fast. But I don't think they're open right now. I bet they're not open right now.
Nope, probably not.
Let us know if you guys have gone to Pink's or any sort of like iconic LA places that you've gone, if you think it's overrated, or if you think you're like, oh, this was actually a pretty cool experience.
Don't get me wrong, the hot dogs are good.
Yeah.
But for the price you pay, I'm sorry, my favorite hot dogs are still the ones that you can get at Costco.
Yes, with the soda, $1.50.
It's like $1 after taxes. It's like $1.65. Of course, I haven't had one in a while.
Yes.
But I mean, and also they changed it too. You can't get the sausage, not the, but the Polish sausage anymore.
You can't get that anymore.
You can't get that one, and that was the one that I loved.
That was the one that was more flavorful. So,
yep.
Welcome to our TED Talk about best hot dogs in LA, and that we picked Costco. Let's see in the comments. If you love good hot dog, go to Portillo's is that how you say it? Portillo's in Buena Park next to Knott's. I've heard great things about that place. And look, as soon as we feel safe to do delivery or like curbside pickup and things like that, that's what we will do. Some of you guys are also saying Roscoe's. You know, we love Roscoe's. Oh. It just depends on which one you go to. You can't go to all of them. They're not all cooked equally. The one in LA is really, really good. The one in Pasadena is all right.
It's all right.
It's all right, but the one in LA is the one that we recommend. If you're gonna go to that one, it's good. Just don't go all the time. It's like very greasy. That's why it's
I have to admit, I learned very early on in my Roscoe going experience that I have to go to one that is relatively close to home because I need to make sure that there's no traffic and I can make it home before it hits me. So
you and John Roca need to have a conversation by yourselves about.
Oh yeah, John Roca. He does like a little stand-up routine.
You guys gotta ask him about it.
I have a story too,
oh
but mine actually is a success story, where his is a failure story.
Do you want to talk about that one on air or no? You can say no.
I can. I used to do a lot of birthday parties and special events.
Oh, you're talking this one. I thought you were going to talk about another one.
Oh,
it was a success as well, but
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What happened was, I was actually doing I was Darth Vader. And that costume is a royal pain to put on, and you sweat like crazy. And right before we're about ready to go into this birthday party, me as Darth Vader and a buddy of mine who was doing a Jedi. I can't remember which Jedi he was doing, but probably Obi-Wan.
Oh. Okay.
But I start putting on the costume, and all of a sudden my stomach goes, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm putting on the costume and my stomach's getting worse and worse and worse. And I had no choice but to go into this party and push through it all the way through. And It was an hour-and-a-half party. The entire time, my stomach.
Your party entertainers, guys.
Yep. And then as soon as we got out, I ripped off the costume. We drove to the closest gas station, and I just ran in there. I was like, give me the keys! Give me the key to the bathroom now!
Oh no, I don't think I've heard this story.
And well, there's also a lot more details in there because I actually, before the party, kind of went to one of the neighbors' house and knocked on the door.
It's the bubble guts. We're gonna have to call that from now on. The bubble guts. Oh my god. The fear.
Our buddy TJ called it the fear because you're afraid that you might poop your pants.
Oh my gosh.
I had the fear.
Oh my gosh.
So
great story. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for telling that story, for sharing a very intimate bits about yourself. Bubble guts. That's great. Let's see. Other places you're recommending. LA, Shinsengumi in Little Tokyo. I don't think we've gone there. I really wanted to go to the curry house in Little Tokyo, but they closed. They closed. So yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. I would love to take. I want to take the metro down to Little Tokyo. Probably not going to take the metro
with a full hazmat suit, maybe.
Yeah,
and
maybe
hand
then.
sanitizer and Lysol wipes and just wipe down everything and don't touch anything.
But we did that once. We took the metro down to Little Tokyo, and we were able to go and we just ate a whole bunch of food.
So
we had
good.
so much fun, and it's great to be able to experience that in LA.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Oh yeah, we heard about Roka's accident. That when he told it on stage during it was like a Mark Ellis's and Friends stand-up that we went to. It was the first time I ever heard of it, and I was just like, oh no, it's just going where I think it's going. And then it went there. I was like, oh no, Roka, I'm so sorry. Okay. A couple more questions from the chat, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Where in California is the best pizza? I love pizza.
That's hard to say.
I don't feel like California has the best pizza. I think it's East Coast or Chicago.
Unlike New York.
New York,
you can
not
be
the
like,
dollar slices. Don't get those.
Yeah, like in New York, you can say, oh yeah, this mom and pop place on this corner is the best. In LA, there's just, Joe's
Pizza is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a New York brand. Big Mamas and Papas are okay.
Yeah, theirs is a little
okay.
flat for my taste.
It's a little too crusty. Like the crust is too doughy.
Don't get me wrong though. If it's there, I'm eating it.
This is true.
I'm not going to be
We do love pizza. It's just, I feel
sticking my nose up at, oh, that's Mamas and Papas. I'm not going to be eating that. No.
No, you put pizza
I'm not a
we'll
picky eater.
Yeah. Even if it's Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, whatever, we'll eat it.
I'd have to say most of the time we get Domino's because we have the app and it's easy.
The reward system is good.
The reward system is good. And for the most part, I have to admit, Domino's has upped their game in the last years.
They used to be not great.
Terrible.
Now the pizza we probably will never get is Little Caesars, and except for this new thing that they
love Little Caesars.
What happened? Debbie says, as a New Yorker, Nathan's hot dog are still the tops. Yes, we agree with that. We have a super chat from Vanja. Vanja gave us a super chat. Thank you so much. Yay! Hey guys, if I get the money to come to LA one day, will you show me around? Ooh. Also, we could absolutely do a meetup. Could you give me your short Terminator 1 and 2 review now? Oh my gosh. Top 10 or 20 of all time. Okay.
Oh, okay. So Terminator, yeah.
You gotta think about it.
Terminator 1 is obviously a classic because
great question.
It is one of those movies that kind of changed the genre.
Yeah.
And also putting in Arnold Schwarzenegger as a villain. I think that was one of the first times that he was
the action star good guy.
Yeah.
The fight for what you believe in. I'm going to, take down whatever, and I'm going to be, what's the...
Superhero.
No, but what's the one where he's Bare-chested and...
Oh, Conan the Barbarian.
I was like, Hercules? No. No, what is it?
However,
with Mufasa as the James Earl Jones.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
James Earl Jones was in Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. But the thing is with Terminator 2 is the fact that, 1, it was brilliantly done. 2, it broke ground on special effects and how it was used. I have to admit, Terminator, it is hard to judge the two because, 1, since they came out so far apart, they had such an a difference in graphic technology at the time, special effect technology. But both of them were just so well done. And I feel bad that, when Terminator first came out in the theaters, it kind of had a Princess Bride effect, that when it was out in theaters, it didn't do too well. But it did okay. But it was a huge success when people started renting it and people started to get it on VHS. So it's always hard to judge the two because, of course, you couldn't have number 2 without number 1. And I think Terminator 2 is just one of those times that they nailed a sequel to it perfectly.
T-1000.
It was the great evolution of that, the villain, turning the villain into a hero. And and to see just kind of how a machine would
kind of learning the ways of a human. So you know, it
Yes.
had the raps of looking like a human, but to see like his relationship with John,
Yes.
young John, was like really endearing because he was trying to teach him all like the cool slangs and stuff like that. And it's so heartbreaking when they go full circle. He does like the thumbs up and then I'll be back and the hasta la vista. And I'm just like, oh my God, because it's such a brutal movie where these people are trying to literally save the world, trying to, you know, like, and there's the whole thing with the timeline. And it's just heartbreaking that they went from like being completely afraid of these machines and seeing what Sarah Connor is trying to do to fight for her life and for her son, to kind of turning around and like loving this like anti-hero / turning into hero. Yeah. And then kind of giving us very unique, like you said, CGI effects and fighting styles.
The flipping of the gun. I'm like, oh, that is so cool.
When Sarah was like limping and she was
so
badass. Like I hadn't seen.
They did a really good. They also pioneered kind of the badass superheroine kind of a thing. So even at the end of Terminator 1, she does kind of turn into a badass. But in all throughout Terminator 2, I mean, so good. Everything else, all the other Terminators definitely took a huge nosedive after that. You know, honestly, even going back and kind of watching, what is it called? The Dark Fate, the newest one. The newest one with even that, I'm starting to go back and be like, I think I gave it too good of a rating.
I have to rewatch it to kind of reassess, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was up on the big screen. There was a lot of callbacks, and I think I mainly went to watch the film because of how much I love the character Sarah Connor.
Yes.
So if anything else, like I watched it for that, and I like their new version of like T-1000, if you will, and I enjoyed seeing it. I haven't like really gone back and be like, I gotta watch it again and again. Like it wasn't that kind of experience. But while I was in the seat with the surround sound and everything in a theater, I enjoyed it. It was an action-packed movie, and I got what I wanted for a blockbuster. Is it maybe your top 10 or top 25 of all time? Maybe top...
I would have to say that Terminator 1 and 2 are definitely in the top 25.
I would say maybe,
easily in the top 25.
But not top 10. But again, that movie changes all the time.
Yeah, the top 10 constantly flip for me.
Yeah.
But ones that are always in my top 10, the original trilogy for Star Wars, I kind of clump that in.
As one movie?
Princess Bride, Goonies, Ghostbusters. Those are definitely in like my top 5, top 10.
I gotta make notes. Hold on.
Yeah, and we have to kind of sit down and kind of put together our own.
I forgot about Goonies for some reason.
Oh,
how?
I have to admit, I haven't seen Goonies. I haven't seen Goonies in a couple years. I have to go back and watch it. But that was also one of the movies that I could pause most of it and do most of the dialogue for that movie.
Just like Princess Bride.
Dark Crystal.
The original. It's good. We actually rewatched it not too long ago.
Yeah, and you know what? It holds up.
It does.
It really does.
And the new series, because it's made with, you know, puppets, actual puppets, and not like animated or CGI, it really connects the two. Yeah. There's like a good connective tissue.
And I have to say, Dark Crystal definitely in my top 25. It might come close to my top 10 just because it's had such an effect on me over the years. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely high up there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat and the question, Vanja. That was great conversation.
Thank you so much.
We totally loved it. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. And that is, it's funny because we were just talking about the Hollywood Bowl canceling its summer season. Well, in Japan, there it goes. In Japan, the theaters are starting to slowly reopen. And I have some notes that I jotted down about this, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. And this is according to Variety, the article that I saw. So Japan's film business closed around mid-April due to the pandemic and due to the government's declaration of like state of emergency, even though it wasn't like a mandatory thing. It was like voluntary. It was weird because I follow a lot of Japanese YouTubers who live in Japan. They're not necessarily Japanese, but they're YouTubers who live in Japan. Yeah. And you kind of see, you know, they do daily vlogs or weekly vlogs, and you're just kind of like, oh, people are definitely still like up and around. There's not as much social distancing as we're seeing here in the States. I don't really know as a whole like how exactly they're doing because we're not there, and I can only see what the YouTubers are filming. But I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying it's quite interesting experience, but I don't have enough to go on to really speak freely about. you know, the way they're handling the virus over there. But cities such as Tokyo and Osaka are still under more strict advisory until the end of this month. And so they won't be reopening their theaters anytime soon, but the other 34 prefectures will begin cautiously opening. And so some of the steps that they're doing to kind of ensure safety, specifically for the staff, is the staff will be wearing masks. They're going to have hand sanitizers available in the theater. They're going to have hand sanitizers or like the alcohol spray, somebody physically spraying down people's hands at the entrances, which is something I saw them do in Taiwan as well. When I talked to my mom, she said, oh, that's everywhere. Like you cannot go into a store without a mask, without getting your temperature checked, and they spray your hands before you enter and after you exit as well.
Smart.
Which is great.
I love that. I mean, it takes a lot of time and energy to do it, but that's the only way to be able to get it done.
You want to stay safe, you want to get sick.
Even
I'd rather
if
stay
the
safe.
Movie theaters open up here.
It's just alcohol in your hands.
And they're saying, you know, oh, yeah, it's safe. I still think that we're going to be taking our own Lysol spray and just spray down the entire chairs.
Then I don't want
And we're also going to spray to the chairs next to us, and we're going to have masks, gloves,
I'm pretty sure people won't be
goggles.
Next to us. Goggles, yeah. So in the theaters in Japan, on top of having hand sanitizers and people wearing masks, they're also going to have clear plastic screens to limit interaction, direct interaction with staff. And they're going to do seating arrangements so they can continue to practice social distancing. So I want to follow this, and I kind of want to see how it goes for Japan, if they see a rise in cases or if they don't see a rise in cases, because that can also depict how movie theaters around the world is going to handle this. And you know, like we can kind of not use it as a exact measuring stick, but we can at least take from their experience and collect some data and see how we want to handle that, you know, here or everywhere else in the world. So let us know what you guys think in the chat. If the theaters were to open at the end of this month.
Yeah.
With all the above, like with all the the repercussions that we just talked about, like staff has to wear a mask, maybe you have to wear a mask, limited seating arrangements and everybody's kind of like staying apart, clear screens over the concession so the staff can limit their interaction with you, and what else? Hand sanitizing, temperature checking, and all that. Like if all those procedures were in place, would you feel safe going? Let us know in the chat.
And not only that, but that also saying, I mean, it's a little weird because two, you're going to be eating while you're watching the movie. So, I mean, then you can't have your mask on that entire time. And do you actually lift it up, eat your popcorn,
but then you're touching
the mask,
all this, and that defeats the purpose of like the
and
mask.
then you're going to get all, like if you're eating popcorn, all of that oil is going to get on your hands and then on your mask.
And it, yeah.
And it just, so you have to end up like whatever mask you wore, either make sure you throw it away,
wash it.
Or you're going to have
if
to.
You have rewashable ones. We have really cool rewashable ones with the little pocket for a filter. So that's what we've been using. You take out the filter, you wash it. And then we have like refill filters that we can buy and put in as well. So what some of you guys are saying are, sorry, let's see.
I mean, it's just a really frustrating situation too, because, you know, all people want to do is go and see a movie, and you don't want to have to worry about all of this other stuff. And, you know, it's going to, either it's going to be one of those things to where it doesn't work, or people are just going to have to get used to it. Cause I think it's going to be here to stay for quite a while.
The procedure? Or the virus?
The procedures.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of comments from the chat. Read a couple articles earlier about how China is seeing new clusters of cases appearing and growing concern / fear that a second wave of infection could happen. That's always a possibility, and especially with such a brand new virus that we don't have yet the vaccine for. Yeah. And we're really still seeing like everybody's different reaction to the virus, where people are like, have gotten it completely asymptomatic and didn't need to go to the hospital, never even felt sick. Or some people that have had it and have gone to like the most severe cases of like being on a ventilator and being placed under a coma. Like, it's like, that's just so, and then we thought too at the beginning, remember when the news was like, oh, like if you're healthier, you're gonna be okay, and it only affects older people. And it's starting to affect kids now. It's just, the whole thing is that we don't know anything about it. Which sucks. So we don't, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be I mean, just like it did back in 1918, there was a second wave, and then there was 1918? 1918.
with the Spanish flu. There was a second wave. There was a third wave. So, I mean.
And that was back then where they don't have the technology that we have now.
Yeah.
So, worst case scenario, second wave, I would not like to see a third wave because things are already as bad as it is.
Yeah.
Let's see. I still feel strange about going back. It'd be strange for me. It might take me a while to get back to it, I think.
Bug.
Sorry, that was a bug.
Random fly. We get them every now and again. Like,
it's summertime and we have the windows open so we don't run our AC and use all the electricity. So
save on that electric bill.
Yeah, things get expensive around here.
But yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I want to do is I want to go to the movies and get a big bucket of popcorn and just shove my face in there because I'm like, I miss movie theater popcorn.
Yeah.
I miss movie theater food. I miss getting a good hot dog.
Imagine saying that, miss movie theater food. But like there is something about that like popcorn smell. It's how they get you. The MSG smell is so good. Get your soda
in my
belly. Like I miss like the movie theater nachos, and I know I can have nachos at home, but it's something about munching away at these like fatty, greasy, high in salt, junky food while watching a blockbuster on screen. Like it's so good. Or like shoving my face with popcorn during a horror movie so I don't scream or lose it. So yeah, Starju says I'm going for the popcorn and hot dogs. We don't blame you.
Damn right.
Bleed says no, I still wouldn't go. I've already seen a rise in positive COVID cases since the partial opening here in Texas. Yeah, that's what we're kind of afraid of, and we'd rather just not risk it at all.
Most likely when everything does open, we're not going to go out. We're still going to pretend that we're in quarantine probably until like we have to go out. Otherwise we're just going to wait for it until they get the, hey, everything is 100% clear.
When there's a vaccine, things will be very different.
Yes.
When there's a vaccine, things will be very different.
Yes.
And I'll still wash my hands a lot, and I'll still probably wear a mask. And like, I think I've already said it on here before, mask wearing was never a strange thing to me. I grew up with terrible allergies. I grew up in Taiwan where pollution, like the air quality is not the best. So I've always worn masks, and I've worn masks here where people pre-COVID, people are like, oh, what are you wearing a mask for? And
are you sick?
No, they don't ask that because they don't know. That's because it's not common practice here. Maybe like within the Asian community, they get it. But for me, it's kind of like, if I don't wear this, my allergy is way worse. And my allergy is so bad where sometimes I'm just like confined to my bed all day because like my eyes are watery and itchy. My nose is itchy. I'm stuffed up. It's like terrible. That's why I wore masks.
But I have to agree with Kay Walton too. I don't think I'm going to be going to the theaters anymore this year. Yeah,
well, we can't, and you're right.
It's sad.
It's really sad because we love. I mean, we're called the movie couple. We love movies. We love the movie theater experience. So you know, we'll just have to wait and see.
And there's so many good movies that are still coming out this year. I mean,
Scoops.
Oh, but that's coming out
on VOD.
That's coming out on VOD.
Yeah,
which is cool. But you know, Black Widow, all the other Marvel movies that are slated to come out. I mean, New Mutants. Is slated to come out.
Yeah.
And I want to see all of them.
Yeah. Well, luckily, even though things are closed, I think a lot of the streaming platforms and people in the industry are working to make things happen, which brings us to this next topic. We're going to get to see Hamilton. It's going to come to Disney Plus this July, and I am so excited. And I, of course, wrote down some notes about it because it's like hard for me to not talk about Broadway stuff. And Hamilton is such a good show, so they're not going to miss their shots. Hamilton is going to debut on. I just had to. Disney Plus. It's going to be on Disney Plus on July 3rd or July 4th instead of its original release date, which was October 15th of 2021. So with the way they did this, it's not a movie, is they recorded live performances from various seats.
The way to do it. That is the way to go.
They did that for Rent a while ago. Like it's on VHS somewhere. But there were 3 live performances that features the original cast that were shot by the show's director, Thomas Kail. And Disney actually paid $75 million for the rights for this. And I think that's a good move. I think it just kind of like, to me, it makes sense. It's pricey, but it kind of makes sense because of their relationship with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
And this gives that show, that property, the ability to be available not much later where things are a little iffy, where if you put it on Disney Plus and then everybody makes a little bit of money, and you share it, around the 4th of July, it's kind of perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely perfect. So now a whole bunch of people can go out and see it. And there's still going to be a draw for people to go and see it in the theater. I mean, to go see it once we're able to go out and see plays again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just can't wait. And we have a super chat from Chris Mendez. Hey!
Woohoo! Thanks, Chris.
Yay! So which Disney parks have you been to and will you visit them all? My friends and I are definitely going to visit them all. So, Chris, I'm going to leave your question up because I want to wrap up the Hamilton talk really quickly. Broadway is actually going to be closed until, at the very least, September is what they said. And I don't know, like if that'll change or not. It really just depends on this whole like virus thing. But so if you can't see Hamilton in person because tickets are expensive and Broadway isn't open, I think Disney Plus is making the right move, and I am just ever so grateful that I'm gonna get to see Hamilton.
Me too.
It's gonna be on replay for a really long time. I've been playing the soundtrack when I'm getting ready. I put it on my earpods. And I'm like, I'm not gonna miss my shot. All right, sorry.
I was just like, okay, I'm gonna let you go with this. You know, how long you gotta?
Sorry, I don't know why I am the way I am, but Chris Mendez has a great,
adorable.
Yeah, cute. Chris Mendez says, which Disney parks have you been to and will you visit them all? We have been to Disneyland. We are pass holders.
California
Adventures. Disney World.
All of
the parks in Disney, Florida. So Magic Kingdom, MGM Studios / Hollywood Studios. Epcot and Animal Kingdom. We have not gone to the water parks. I have not gone to Typhoon Lagoon or the other one. I can't remember.
I feel a little weird about going to water parks. I mean, the last couple of years.
I've never 100% loved it. When I was a kid, I liked it. But as I got older, I'm like, I just no.
This is kind of This is kind of gross.
I don't want to get into that part. But do we want to visit them all? Absolutely, yes.
And we've also been to Tokyo.
Oh, Tokyo, duh. We have a whole vlog.
If you want to go see us in Tokyo, going to Disney Sea and Disneyland, go and check it out on our channel because they're all there. Wait, are all of them done for the theme parks?
No.
Okay.
There's at least one more.
More to come.
There's at least one more.
We did Disneyland. Our Disney Sea one hasn't come out yet.
Correct.
Now,
I just gotta check the footage because I don't know if we have enough to make it into a vlog. So we'll see how I'm gonna end up releasing it.
If you have not gone to Disney Sea in Tokyo, that is when they reopen. I highly recommend it.
That should be on the top of your list.
Going to Japan ruined a lot of things that I have experienced in my life.
And we love Disney. Oh, sorry.
The streets are. Public transportation has been completely ruined for me. And Disney. And
7-Elevens.
And 7-Elevens. Everything there in Japan is amazing.
It's really amazing.
I love going. I mean, I want to go again to vending machines because there's vending machines everywhere. And I mean, it's just it's an amazing experience that I highly recommend. But Tokyo Disney Sea, something that they do amazingly well in Japan for all the Disneylands is the idea that Disney took of being completely immersive without being able to see the outside world. And they do it so well. Each land that they have is just 100% immersive. And you just feel like you're in a whole new world. So a whole new world. But it's amazing, I have to admit.
Yeah. The next park we're going to visit when we feel safe enough to do international travel again. Probably Tokyo. No, yes, for Tokyo, but probably Disneyland Paris.
Probably Paris.
Yeah, and then after that, we'll just do a big trip to Asia again. We'll go see my family, and then we'll hit Shanghai and we'll hit Hong Kong.
Yep. And then we'll have all of. I think that's all of them.
Yeah, that's it. And then we'll have all of them done, unless they do Disneyland in space or something.
Disney in space.
Disney in space. If the roller coaster go in space.
They kind of have that coming with the Star Wars. The Star Wars Hotel.
God, I
from
want to
what
go
I hear
so
about
bad.
the design about that, I want to do an entire Disney trip just at the Star Wars Hotel. They make it seem like you take an elevator up to your space resort, and the fact that there's seeming like there's actors there in the hotel that you can engage with and interact with, and I'm just
If it's going to be
out.
anything like how they do the Rise of Resistance,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be that plus some more. I think it's going to be very much worth the very expensive price tag for if you're not a true Star Wars fan, if you are a Star Wars fan of any kind, this is gonna blow your mind. That's a whole different kind of experience.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't wait to be able to tackle all the Disney stuff again.
Planet Disney.
Planet Disney. little
I
planet
love that.
and little ears that orbit around.
It has 2 moons that are, and as you enter the planet, it's like Hidden Mickey. That is the galaxy's biggest hidden Mickey.
Just like that. Let's see. Oops. I prefer Family Mart to 7-Eleven, but 7-Eleven is good too. Family Mart's pretty good. We went into a Family Mart, and then we also went to a Lawson because that was one.
Yeah.
There was one right next to our hotel.
That was within walking distance.
That was within walking distance, and it was just kind of, and everything's so cheap. Like, if you are in Japan, I would say this is probably so touristy and so basic sounding, but I would definitely get something like if they have like the little fried chicken behind the cases from any of the convenience stores, get that. Get the melon bread from 7-Eleven. Get the egg sandwiches. I know you're thinking like, what, egg sandwich? It's so good. Don't worry about it. Just grab it and eat it. You will thank us. It's seriously the best thing ever.
That has like, it's a sandwich with the strawberries in it.
With the cream.
With the strawberries and cream.
God, I miss Japan.
It was so good.
It makes me want to go to the 99 Ranch and see if they have any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. They should.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for your super chat. We hope that answers your question. We hope that you get to visit all of the theme parks you want to visit, and let us know if you like them.
And if we get to go to all of them, trust me, we will be vlogging.
We'll be vlogging.
And we will share our experience.
And maybe
it
won't take me 2 years to edit this stuff.
Well, now that I'm able to help a little bit, I think hopefully we can get some more stuff out. I'm still learning. It still took me forever to do that little 16-minute haircut vlog.
You got to start somewhere. You have to learn somewhere, so I think it's better to take long the very first time than to have not done it at all. So I applaud you because you literally sat there into like hours of the night to do this. Applaud, like that song. Okay, and we're going to get to our final topic for the day, and that is we're going to talk about some Mandalorian Season 2. Now, this has not been confirmed by the Katee Sackhoff's reps, her team, or Disney or Lucasfilm. We pulled this off of the Slash Film website. Slash Film was the same outlet who broke the news or the rumor that I have to call it a rumor until it's confirmed.
Technically confirmed,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That Ahsoka Tano will be played by Rosario Dawson, and she will appear in The Mandalorian. So that's all speculation, of course, until somebody from one of the Disney properties or somebody's team, one of the actors' teams, to confirm. But I will also say that Slash Film is usually
pretty
accurate. So I have some notes about this. So according to Slash Film, Katee Sackhoff has filmed and wrapped her scenes back in February.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like they made it just in time. Because one of the side notes, one of the things that they're saying is that there's going to be no delays to season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So that means they wrapped principal photography just in time.
And this comes from Disney's new CEO, Bob Chapek, who says The Mandalorian 2 will not be delayed due to COVID. And his quote, and I'm going to just read off the screen here. He says, "We have a certain amount of inventory, particularly for Disney Plus, that is still fueling the machine. It is important to know, though, that pre-production, sort of the development phase, can still happen during these time of lockdowns, and post-production can still happen. So it's only films that are midstream, right in the middle of production. Take, for example, The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was shot before COVID really hit, so we've been in post-production, and there will be no delay on The Mandalorian. And the same thing with Black Widow, which is going to come out in November, and that is so, like,
awesome to hear.
Relieving, yeah. I think the only thing with that sets Black Widow different from The Mandalorian is that The Mandalorian is a streaming platform.
Yes.
You can watch it from home. Black Widow, meant for the big screen, action-packed adventure type of film, very different. And so that opening date, which I'm confident that the theaters will be kind of like open with adjusted procedures.
Yeah.
But I think it will still come out in November.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed if everything goes well.
Yes.
Please go well.
So, with Katee Sackhoff, who voiced the character Bo-Katan, we have seen her in previous Clone Wars episode as well as in the final season of the Clone Wars. So, for me, it makes sense for the casting choice. Katee Sackhoff is like, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. She is a badass.
Oh, really?
Like she's got a show on Netflix, and I think there's season 2. I don't know if it's been shot, but I think season 2 has been greenlit. It's called Another Life. She worked really, really hard on this, and she is just badass all around. You've seen her in Battlestar Galactica. She is just like this force of nature when it comes to anything physical. She looks good doing the action. Her acting is great. She's really, really committed to all of her roles. She can bring this like intensity to Bo-Katan. I mean, she voiced the character, so it's because she already knows how to play it.
It's going to be Bo.
So I really support this casting choice. Like, she's gonna crush it. I couldn't wait, and I think she, like, with hair and makeup, like she would look almost exactly like Bo.
Well, I'm sure the animators of
they
the
usually
season
do that
use some of the features of the actor in their design.
And we want to know, do you guys think that if there's a connection for Bo between her and Moff Gideon because of the dark saber? And also, we know that Ahsoka is going to be, well, we think we know that Ahsoka is going to be in Mandalorian season 2, just like we think we know that Bo-Katan is going to be in season 2. Obviously, these two fought together for the Siege of Mandalore. So will this be like the first time that they actually meets up post Order 66? And like, what is their reaction going to be? Like, oh my God, you're alive, and all of this stuff. So I really wonder what this is going to be. And this is like, so it's so juicy and meaty, like these news. And I hope all of it is true. And I'll reiterate again that Katee's reps have not confirmed. Lucasfilm or Disney have not confirmed.
Yeah. And you know, the news made me excited and also a little upset at the same time, because once again, this is now another character, another actor from the animated series that they brought from the animated series straight on in to the live action. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but there's still no explanation on why they didn't do that for Ashley.
Yeah, I know. So, that's like,
and I can understand. I guess Katee would have also has a little bit more experience in action-based live action roles, to where she has that Netflix series. She shows that she can be more of a badass. She can do the stuff. Look at
Katee's Instagram. She participates in all these like Iron Man runs and stuff like that. Like, she is so strong. Like, physically, like if you watch some of her like workouts and things that she does on Instagram, like she's a beast.
I also know that casting directors, from experiences that I've heard from friends that have done a lot of acting, is that they can't see outside certain bubbles, so to speak. Like, we have a friend who's an amazing actor, but he loved doing cosplay, and he loved doing videos of him being in cosplay, and his agents were like, you're going to have to stop doing that, because casting directors are going to only see you as a cosplayer and not an actor. And there's also things to, and that's the same thing with maybe Ashley. Since she didn't go from voicing Clone Wars into doing like more Netflix, television, streaming, movies, she went into design, and she went into
But she was still working as an actress even then.
A voiceover actress.
No, she's been in other stuff too. But no, I will say I don't think she's been in like an action movie or played an action role. So I guess I have so much disdain for that, because like, she's an actress. She's proven herself that she can work hard, and she can, and if anybody knows Ahsoka, it's her. Yeah. So that's
she's
kind of my main thing about it
for
for 12 years. Yeah. So like, if anybody knows Ahsoka, it's her, because when you voice it, you have to put your entire emotion into it. What's the motivation? It's voiceover acting is like acting, but I think it's even more involved because they can't see your face. Yeah,
you have to do it 100% with your voice.
Put all of that just into your voice, and she does it with such like. There's so many different levels of Ahsoka, especially in the later ones where you see she gets snippy. She was kind of like, you'll see I have many qualities for you to dislike, and I was like, oh, there's so much bite in just that one line. And the whole like, you're lucky Anakin's not here. The way you're fighting, you wouldn't have lasted long. It's like, oh, Ahsoka, yes. Yeah. So like, my vote is still like, you know, for Ashley to one day play Ahsoka Tano in live action. That's my girl, you know, guys. So I support her through and through. Okay, so before we leave, we're going to talk about this last bit of news. And that is the New Mutants gets a new release date. Who didn't see this coming? Nobody raised their hand.
Movie.
I know.
This poor movie has been bumped and bumped and bumped and bumped.
My God.
And no fault of its own. You know, it hasn't been like, oh, we're rewriting the script. Oh, we're doing this. It's just the fact that it got developed at the perfectly wrong time.
Yeah, it's just...
This has just gotten a piece of the old... I don't want to.
Don't cuss.
I know. It's just the fact that this poor movie, and I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see this adaptation of the New Mutants. So, but it's so sad that now it's
pushback, and it's kind of like I really didn't mind the trailer. We enjoyed it very much. I like the cast. I think the cast is fantastic, and I can't wait to see them. So, it was delayed because of the COVID, and then because of the COVID, and now we're finally. I think it was like the new date was inevitable. We're all just kind of waiting on it. So the new release date is not going to be in the spring because we're past spring now. It's in May, so we can technically say we're in the summer. So now this horror, like horror themed X-Men film will be hitting theaters on August 28th, 2020, and this was announced today. So. We'll see if it doesn't move.
Longer.
Oh my God! As long as it doesn't move again, which it could or it couldn't, we don't know.
Honestly, it probably will. My guess, it's probably going to get bumped back again. But then again, this also might be a good movie to put out to kind of test the waters, kind of a thing. So it's kind of like, okay, this is going to be around when opening up the movie theaters is still a relatively new thing.
Yeah.
So. They can be like, okay, let's put this movie that might do well, that there's a lot of good buzz about it, but, you know, it's really the Fox money. This pretty much, it's, you know, this is more, if this ends up flopping because of not the fact that it's a bad movie, but because of the reopening of theaters and having to deal with COVID, that it's going to be, this is a good one to kind of sacrifice to the altar of how is the box office going to do.
This is true, but I would hate that because this poor movie and its cast has gone through so much. Like they're filming, they're going to reshoot, they're not going to reshoot. We're going to have this date. So according to the article, this movie was filmed back in 2017 and originally was set to open on April 13th, 2018, guys. We're in 2020. And then after that, it was pushed back to February 2019. And then later, it was going to be like August 2019. And then it was going to be like April 3rd of this year. And now it is August of this year, hopefully.
This has got to be so weird for the actors that were in this movie, too. Because they probably haven't gotten to see a final cut of this movie that they filmed 3 years ago.
And according to the article on Hollywood Reporter, it says the reshoots never happened, and the picture remains largely what the test audience saw back in 2017, but now with the finished special visual effects. So I feel like when they get to do press, it's going to be really interesting. It's kind of like, what was it like filming the first scene? And they're like,
God, that was 3 years ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know, it's God. I just feel so bad about it. Like I definitely, regardless of like what anybody thinks about this movie, I just feel so bad for it that I want to give my money to this movie when it hits theaters. Like I'll buy the ticket and be like, I'm not gonna go see it because I don't feel safe going to theaters. But here's my money to support because you guys deserve it.
Yeah.
Let's see what some of you guys are saying before we sign off here. Oh boy, I can picture those junkies. Yeah, us too. What about it being on streaming? I normally would support movies such as like something like this that we're not sure if it's gonna, you know, like it's not like a Wonder Woman or a like Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
But so I can see it because it's like people are already saying that it's going to be a less financially successful movie, and then maybe you put it on streaming and get the money. But I feel like the cast, the crew, everybody who worked so hard on this movie, and this has been like kind of, you know, in limbo for 3 years, that it needs to go to the theater.
Yeah.
I want to see it in theaters.
And I really think what they're probably going to do is put it in the theaters, and then as soon as they can contractually, they're going to put it back. They're going to put it on streaming. But I think they're just waiting to see, to be like, okay, you know what? Let's see how this movie does.
They should wait. I think they should wait. And Blade has got a good point. They might as well release it in October, and I agree with that because it's got a horror theme to it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll.
That's only 2 months later.
Yeah,
kind of a thing. And by then, everything, we'll have a better idea of what's going on.
Just depends on what they're fighting with in the box office.
True. Oh, but you know what? Black Widow
is November.
Black Widow's in November. Wonder Woman, is it Wonder Woman coming out?
Wonder Woman is August.
August, okay.
Yeah. All right, last couple of questions before we leave. They might as well put New Mutants on Disney Plus instead of in the theaters.
I think New Mutants is a great way to test the waters.
Okay.
So I'm definitely thinking they're going to put it there, and then once they stop making any money off of it, they'll put it on stream.
Oh, interesting.
Probably within 3 weeks to a month.
Interesting comment by MK. HBO has Fox Film streaming distribution rights until 2022, so we won't see it. We won't see it on streaming. It'll definitely be released in theater. I do not want to see this movie released in 2022. Oh my God, it needs to be 2020 or at the latest 2021.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. Adam says a lot of people want it on Disney Plus, but because it has a super dark subject matter, it should probably land on Hulu instead. And if MK's comment is correct, which sounds about right, HBO, it'll be on HBO before it's on anything else. So it just really depends on what the studio wants to do with it.
Yeah, and then Disney will reacquire it and be like, okay, HBO, sorry, it's ours.
Yeah. Yeah. August 2014, 2020, Wonder Woman comes out in 2 days before my birthday. Yay, happy early birthday, Debbie.
That's the way to celebrate your birthday, with some Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, I was always really happy. My birthday's on May 3rd, and we always had, like, for the longest time, we were either getting an Avengers movie, or we were getting some awesome Marvel movie, or we were getting some Star Wars. So I always liked having my birthday in May, because then we had, like, a big birthday movie.
But not this year.
Not this year. We had a party with the two of us.
No, with our friends Adam and Diana too.
Oh yeah, we played.
We just like had a Zoom chat. We had a Zoom chat. We finally got to baking Dustin's birthday treats yesterday on May 12th instead of May 3rd, because what we wanted to bake required eggs, and we kept on using up all of our eggs and forgetting to set them aside. And we're just like, we need eggs. And I know a lot of people said like you can sub applesauce for eggs, but then we also didn't have applesauce, so we just waited. Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I know we did a little bit longer than normal. We are so sorry. We hope to see you on Saturday when we stream again with our special guest. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share this video, like our live streams. That's hard to say. Like our live streams. It kind of helps us bump us up in the YouTube world there. And we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to tune in on Thursday for another retro trailer review. And we will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.